There was never any need for it. He could have done something else.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Were you here for the bombing? The bombing down the street when that happened? Were you around for that?
I was in an apartment. I'm in my own place.
Yeah.
Woke me up because I was so goddamn drunk. I couldn't remember nothing. And boom! Oh, shit. Okay.
The immediate area for about half a mile around the Murrah building was the original crime scene. I mean, you have to think about it in terms of whenever there's a crime scene, you've got the big police, yellow stickers and lines that they pull across it saying, do not cross because there's evidence in here. Well, in the case of the bombing, you had most of downtown that had fragments just blown all over the place. And so the original crime scene that you couldn't go into was essentially cordoned off by the National Guard. I lived at 15th and Robinson at the time, and literally the other end of my block was where the National Guard set up its barricades. And we couldn't cross into downtown for several days thereafter, and slowly that circle shrunk toward the epicenter of the blast.
Good afternoon. My name is Bill Martin. I'm a past president of Amnesty Group 238 in Oklahoma City, and I'm giving you a brief report on recent Amnesty International concerns about the approaching execution of Timothy McVeigh. To back into this, William Schultz, the director of Amnesty International USA, on May the 11th, issued a statement in which he said the fatal flaws that plague state systems also infect the federal system. This was a follow-up to an Amnesty International report of April 24th, which is entitled United States of America, The Illusion of Control. And it deals with what is known as a consensual execution, and also with what Amnesty refers to as the brutalizing futility of capital punishment.
I was at home at 9 in the morning. Normally, that day of the week I would go and have a meeting with the State Historic Preservation Office, which was at the time in the Journal Record building right across from the Murrah building. And for some odd reason that week I said, I called up and said, why don't we have that meeting on Friday instead? So I was at home at the time when the bombing occurred. The building that I lived in, which is 10 blocks to the north, was shaken, and I thought there'd been a gas explosion in my apartment building. There were windows fell out of the window, blew out of the window, plaster fell into my glasses and hair from the ceiling above. Went outside, there were new big cracks in the concrete on the porch out front. And I saw a police car pulling out in front of the building, and I walked out to the curb and said, I think there's been a gas explosion in my apartment building. And he said, no, there's been a bombing downtown. There's been some sort of explosion downtown.
Well, he pulled out at 9:02. The UPS driver, he delivered like at 9:01. He delivered a package inside the Murrah building.
Yeah.
And then he pulled out, and McVeigh pulled in his spot, actually. McVeigh pulled into where he was parked at. And then, as he drove off, then the bomb, I guess, exploded.
Yeah. And about that time, the blast went off, and he was blown completely out of his truck. And
ended up messing him up.
Yeah, he was messed up mentally.
You walked into to a nice guy.
To a what?
A nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing hanging outside the church?
Because I believe in Jesus. I had no other place to go. And I'm just sitting here beside the church. If I want to die, I want to die inside the church or on my knees. You know what I mean?